Much drama. Hello, everybody. This is Preston Folter here on the Pocket Jacks Comics channel, which I have abandoned, except for the writer's stream. But fabulous. We got some more screen, and I don't even pimp out the links anymore. I'm just like I got you three. What else matters? That's the way I look at it.
Aww.
All right, hold on. Let me pimp out the links.
What's happened? This stream is so wholesome.
I know.
Well, especially since I haven't been bringing Demonatrix pages in a while.
Yeah, boy.
I mean, its wholesomeness rating has gone up dramatically.
It is, yes. Hopefully, hopefully Larry won't mind me outing him too much. But he sent me a note that he had revised one of his latest scripts because he realized he pulled a Lamont and cut away from the emotional action. Don't do that. It's not good.
I've completely failed to bring the script once again on account of being too damn busy. This move is just happening, continues to happen.
Awesome.
My roommate's finally moving in tomorrow.
Okay.
That'll be another week of moving furniture around and crawling over things to get to my bedroom, and then hopefully normality.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
All right.
I hear your project's coming along really well, Preston.
Well, you're the editor, so you
right, the one with the robots. Yeah,
exactly.
The inks are gorgeous.
Yeah, it's good. I've been pleased. Yeah, in fact, here let's show the audience. We got the audience of one person. Hello, one person, and send you a final bill. Thank you. All right, cool. All right, let's see. Yeah, but yeah, Jake is a workhorse. For a while, I was like, man, I worry that Jake was going to finish Lords of Iron before Guinevere 5 got done, because Jake's a workhorse, and the guy doing Guinevere 5 is a little bit more of an amateur. He has a day job, all that stuff. Hi, Bean from Pa, how are you? Good to see you. So share screen window, boom. So here we go, stars and stuff. So this is page 3, and now it looks less like the Death Star, particularly when you look at it close up, because now you can see that is not a big ray gun. That is instead a factory, which has been.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a satellite dish anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a satellite. Exactly. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, it looks neat. And you see, and he put the figures on a separate level for the colors. Layer, whatever. Yeah, that.
Didn't realize you were using a different artist.
Than what?
Guinevere. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I have the same colorist, but the Guinevere art team is a different penciler and inker than the. Okay. This is the White Lily art team for the most part.
Okay.
That is on this screen. And here's page 1 and 2, and I was pretty happy with how. So I finally got a sun that I feel is appropriately sized. Let me share that real quick. See, share. I just want to share the screen. Boom. So yeah, I feel like the sun is now about the right size. Before it looked like the sun was like gonna swallow Venus, and I'm like, no. And I like that cool star background. I think that's neat. I got my cool reflector dish. I fought to get that reflector dish in the sky on panels 2 and 3, and I lost. So there you go.
Well, I mean, there's only so much you can do. You keep giving notes and they get ignored, and then you just have to redline it. Because illustrators hate, like, you've been CC'd on all the emails, Preston. You know, every time it's been mentioned.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, Blonde, the colorist, can just put it in for me. So, and I know that, so like, it's fine. But anyway, so there we go. There's page 1. We got Venus and the reflector dish.
Oh, and there's your favorite thing in panel 3.
Panel 3. Oh yeah. You. In
panel 3. In panel 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. I mean, yes.
Boobs on page 1.
they are there and they are prominent. I mean, we need to let people know that they are present. Yes,
it is important scientific knowledge in every dimension.
Only if you want to sell things.
I don't know. We got $7,000 on Coffee House of Doom with like, you know, some people will die. There were skeletons, but no boobs on the cover.
There you go. Awesome. I mean, that's good.
We sold a bunch of aprons, which was very confusing. We also sold some really awesome aprons.
Yeah. And then I thought this page turned out pretty good. So here we go. Here's page 2. I'll come in a little bit here. So there's our sci-fi cityscape and our cool reflector dish. And then here's Trinity getting into her really cool Geiger-y flying car. It's not a Tesla, it's a Giger. And then boom, and then she's entering mind space. And we can thank Danny for Eric's look. Who's this? Who are we copying here?
Lady Deathstrike.
Okay, we're copying Lady Deathstrike.
So Eric is based on a woman?
So the original version in the pencils. So I'm not familiar with Eric as a character. I mean, I've only read one issue of Guinevere, and it wasn't the first one.
But it was a good one.
It was a good one.
There you go.
There were boobs and werewolves, and I think werebear.
Yeah,
so
werebear.
Lots of werefur happening.
And by the way, that came off of the writer's stream. Some guy had a character that he wanted to be like, main character of a comic book, and it was a werebear. And I needed, I felt like issue 4 needed something, so I worked his character into my story. That came off the stream. Yeah.
And so Eric and all of his poses in the pencils had this look like Wolverine about to attack. So he was hunched over and had these aggressive claws, that were sort of doing stuff. And Preston didn't like that. The first note on Eric in the first place, in the sketches, was Eric needs to look like a mad scientist.
Right.
And so feral, bestial do not characterize mad scientist.
Right.
Angry doesn't characterize mad scientist. Even in Skinny's story, was it Skinny's story that we read?
Yes.
Yeah, with the mad scientist. None of those are terms I would use to describe a mad scientist. So I was well, let's go for confidence, claws, poise, and claws of varying lengths, so things that look cool in perspective, because we can do lots of things in mind space. And I thought about Lady Deathstrike. She's 90s AF, but not Witchblade-y.
Yeah.
And broad shoulders, straight back, she knows what she's doing, and that confidence makes her a really cool villain, especially for someone who has bestial instincts like Wolverine. So I sent references of cover art with her, and I think we got Eric over the finish line with that.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
It was still claws, right? So what's a good way to do claws without being angry claws or carnage claws? And I was like, yeah. Off the top of my head, apparently having read comics before actually helps when you're editing comics. Pro tip.
It does. Yes. There you go. All right. So let's see. We got. I submitted Palace of the Golden Princess. By the way, over the weekend had a smashing weekend at the North Texas Role Playing Game Fest, and that was a convention dedicated to old school role playing. So it's a lot of veneration of the early D&D stuff, and those guys were generous. And I was talking with the other vendors, and they're like, oh yeah, these, for one, if you target an older crowd, just demographically, older people will on average have more money than younger people. So if you're chasing a young crowd, they're just not going to be able to contribute as much. Whereas the older guys were like, oh cool, I'll take one of everything. It was very easy selling to these guys. I sold over $1,000 on an $86 table fee. And like this convention had like 100 to 150 people at it. And I was just like selling. It was like, wow, this is awesome. So it really motivated me. Like I need to actually have a product for these guys. So Palace of the Golden Princess, I came like, I need to finish this. So we got that, and we got Dragon Warrior. Are there any other exciting stories that we should be looking at today? Oh, by the way, so Skinny's note was that Eric looks kind of average, except he looks like the BTK killer, so, which is a good look, I think. I mean, honestly, I don't know what the BTK killer looked like, but.
Well, I mean, having had any conversations with Skinny about horror or anything, I'm going to assume that's a compliment.
There you go. Yeah.
He's saying his character looks that way, not Eric.
Oh. Wait, no, I don't see that. Arthur Byrne was the name of not his character, but the werebear.
No, what you put up. Wells looks pretty average.
Wells was his character.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Good. See, it's good I have you people here. Otherwise, I read that as I was interpreting it differently.
See, I think maybe this suggests that the writer's stream has ruined you for spelling.
Well, yeah. Whenever I'm interpreting thing, I'm like, well, clearly they meant to say this, and I just read it as what in my mind they should have been saying. All right, let's see. We have let's do Palace of the Golden Princess first.
All right.
Okay. All right. Context. Yes, context is key. Someone got a message. All right, here we go. So I'm going to introduce a fairy creature. Oh, wow. I'm going to introduce a fairy creature, and I'm sure no one is going to recognize what it is. But here we go. All right.
A fairy creature or a furry creature?
A fairy creature.
Fairy creature.
All right. Danny, why don't you narrate for us? Larry, you can be Thora. I'll be Gretchen. And John can be Edmund.
Sure. So why don't you catch us up to where we are in the story, Preston?
We've gone over these pages before, but all right. Thora has been defeated by Edmund at the tournament. We've seen that she has super cool magic-powered armor, which on this page is about to fail her, and will trigger the signal that, oh my goodness, the special femdom magic that keeps our kingdom together is no longer working, and this sets up the quest that they have to go on.
Page 12, panel 1. The summer sun shines brightly on the tilt yard as Gretchen and Timothy each stand next to the suits of armor their masters will soon be donning. Thora's black armor sits on the stand next to Gretchen, bearing a ruby above the center of the breastbone. Nestor's silver armor lacks the ruby. In the foreground, Thora stands with her hands.
Oh, I need to change that.
And that's why you don't interpolate for other people, Preston.
That's right.
Looks good, Gretchen.
Panel 2. Thora holds out her arms as Gretchen drapes the chainmail over her form.
Very good, ma'am. Ready for the armor to activate.
Panel 3. Medium shot on Thora, who smiles in anticipation, yet the ruby on her chest fails to glow.
It will be good to train again. Love us.
Panel 4. Thora looks down at the ruby on her chest with faint apprehension.
Have the days away dulled my link to the armor?
Panel 5. Thora and Gretchen exchange worried glances.
Love us. Damn it.
Do not worry, ma'am. I shall fetch the armor straight away.
Panel 6. Wearing cloth armor, Nestor approaches the pair.
John, why don't you be Nestor?
Don't bother. The magic seems to not be working anywhere.
On her hips. I'm adding to my script so we don't have that problem again. There we go. 13. Go ahead.
Page 13, panel 1. Queen Arika sits on her throne looking down at Thora, quite pleased with himself, Edmund sits in a chair off to the side, along with Philip, the court jester, and an annoyed Samantha dressed in vestments. The tapestry on the wall to the left behind Arica show a crazed version of the queen pouring blood out of a ruby-encrusted golden chalice to form a pentagram on the ground of a black barren field, as a spectral red demoness looks on in appreciation. The banner bearing the Alluvian symbol of state sits directly above the thorn.
Yeah, we need to change that. That shouldn't be thorn. Should it? Oh, that's directly above.
Throne?
Throne. Yes, that's what it should be. It should be throne. There
You
we
should
go.
make it throne.
There we go. Throne. All right. Awesome.
All
right. Samantha. John, you can be Samantha, and I will be Arica. Oh wait, who was Thora? Larry was Thora, right? Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Perfect. All right, go, John.
It's all working out.
Samantha is the priest.
Yes, the priestess.
Priestess. Viviax, our profane and vulgar goddess, lost her material link to this plane, and with it, our spiritual channel for her charms. I was able to confer with her in prayer. An adventure party penetrated the ruins and found the priestess's heart.
Do you have any idea how this might have happened?
High Priestess Samantha no doubt has the superior understanding. I am but a governess.
A governess who encountered an adventuring party a few days ago, correct?
Yes, they said they were headed to Thoughthold.
They crept right under your nose.
Panel 2. Arica seethes in rage.
And you didn't think to tell me!
My queen, parties go to Thoughthold all the time. The ruins were considered impregnable. I would have no reason to.
You let them go, and now our entire... let's see, our entire society
will.
Oh, okay, there they go. The word order is wrong. I just need to change that. Our entire society will collapse in a matter of days as the men hear of our powerlessness.
Ooh.
Panel 3. Samantha glares at Edmund, who confidently stands before the royal court. Arica's anxiety builds as she watches them argue.
John, you're Edmund.
Queens have sit in rulership over men. Losing your charm magic just requires you treat the situation with subtlety instead of force. Force is the only language these primitive male mind can understand. There were already rumors of rebellion and invasion. We are completely defenseless without Thora and the rest of the governess order, and your champion calls for subtlety? High Priestess Orkova, rest assured that I stand ready to spill blood in the defense of the queendom. But the future of any land in times of turmoil always rests in its leader's cunning.
Panel 4. Medium shot. Arica exerts her authority, seated on her throne.
We shall arrange for a distraction. Create stories of an orc tribe sweeping out of the Cyclopean swamps. That should buy us a few days for us to restore our link to our dark goddess of lust and control. What will be required to make that happen, Samantha?
Page 14. Panel 1. Samantha relays bad news. The bad news.
We would need to consecrate another heart-sized ruby. That would require a 2-day ritual, the sacrifice of 23 male children, and the blood of an angel, which I do not have.
Panel 2. Arica, Samantha, and Edmund look to Thora as she takes command.
Then perhaps Sir Edmund and I should venture into the Forsaken Woods to bargain with the summoner, while the rest of our forces try to locate the adventuring party and recover the heart of the princess.
Panel 3. Arica nods in assent.
Yes, that's just the kind of decisive action we need. Nestor will lead... Larry, that was your line previously. Nestor will lead Nestor will lead our most loyal men to apprehend what we claim is an orc raiding party, while Thor and Edmund secure the angel's blood from the summoner. You will need a form of payment. Take your squire Gretchen with you and offer her to him as his personal slave.
Panel 4. Medium shot.
Why, Gretchen, she shows great promise. She'll make a great governess someday.
Panel 5. Full shot. Arca sits in judgment on her throne.
May the loss of someone close to you prompt you to give more attention to your next run-in, to the next run-in you have with an adventuring party. I have spoken. Now carry out my orders.
I can't read anymore until you scroll down.
Yep. I was just making a note on the script.
Okay. Page 15. Panel 1. Seated atop her horse and adorned in her black leather governess's armor, Thora leads Edmund and Gretchen, also on horseback, along the road out of town under the bright light of the noonday sun.
Leave immediately.
Panel 2. The mounted trio continue along a shaded path into the woods.
Go into the Forsaken Wood.
Panel 3. The trio appears so tired as to be in danger of falling off their horses as they continue along path. Above them, the trees obscure the full moon.
Hold on. I gotta add a the. Along the path. There we go. Ride through the night. Stop for nothing and no one.
We have to stop.
Panel 4. Seated side by side on their horses, Thora and Edmund argue.
You heard the orders of our queen.
The duties of a knight call for wisdom at times such as these. If we do as she orders and forego sleep, we chance to do an exhausted, delirious party. What? We chance to
if we do as she orders and forego sleep, yeah, it should be what chance. There we go. What chance? There you go.
We chance do an exhausted, delirious party. Stand of making it back to the castle with our precious cargo intact.
I will not disobey her.
Panel 5. Edmund dismounts as Thora and Gretchen look on in shock.
Well, I'm stopping. If you think you two women can withstand the dangers posed by the summoner and this forest, feel free to proceed without me.
Panel 6. Thora issues commands from horseback and Edmund begins to unsaddle his horse.
I command you to carry out the wishes of Queen Erica.
I choose to accept the consequences of my nonfeasance.
Page 16. Panel 1. Still on horseback. Thora looks to an exhausted Gretchen, who faintly shrugs, unsure what to do. Partially out of frame, Edmund removes the saddle from his horse. No copy. Panel 2. Thora screams in impotent rage.
Get back on your horse.
Panel 3. Edmund lies on the ground using the horse's saddle for a pillow. The horse's blanket draped on top of him. His eyes are closed, and he seems asleep.
I order it.
Panel 4. Enraged, Thora dismounts.
Damn you.
See, I'm now realizing that maybe this is a hallmark of my scripts. I show people like expressing emotions and stuff. That's what you can find in Preston scripts. People expressing emotions. All right.
Jeez. Here we go.
Panel 5. She stands over Edmund, who pretends to be asleep.
I command you to return to duty this instant.
Panel 6. Thora kicks Edmund in the gut.
Gah?
Panel 7. Inset panel. Thora's booted foot slides under the blanket and collides with Edmund's steel breastplate.
Oh.
Page 17. Panel 1. Frozen in a moment's uncertainty, Thora and Edmund contemplate what they intend to do to the other. No copy. Panel 2. Thora grabs for his sword as Edmund grabs her around the feet with both hands, tripping her.
Ha!
Gretchen.
Panel 3. On the flat of her back, Thora draws her sword from its sheath with her right hand.
Swing.
Panel 4. Lying on top of her, Edmund grabs to take Thora's sword away with both of his hands. No copy. Did Edmund teleport?
No, look, he. All right. So.
Grabs her.
Grabs around the feet and trips her. On the flat of her back, Thor. So, like, he was laying down. He trips her. All he has to do is just roll over on top of her.
Mm.
I guess.
What?
Oh.
The grabbing the sword could well be like an inset type panel, and it's like an action cutaway for something else that's happening, which won't
Okay.
necessarily show Edmund unless we say to show him.
Okay. Very
Depends
well.
on the illustrator, is probably fine. Might lead to lots of back and forth confusion with notes.
Okay. All right.
So that's like a depends on your team
Okay.
thing.
Well, this team is pretty bad with notes. This is probably going to be the Guinevere team, and he gets a lot of shit wrong. Like,
when in doubt, be explicit.
Yeah, I do my best, but
like, but they will read your script exactly once if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Or just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Go with the flow also works until you have to deal with continuity problems.
Yeah.
I learned this lesson.
Edmund rips the sword out of Thor's hand.
Yeah, and there's a sword out of Thor's hand as he stands to challenge the approaching Gretchen, who brandishes a dagger. See, now he's teleported to standing up again.
As he stands. No, he's standing. He wasn't teleport. He's
lying on top of her. Suddenly he's standing.
That is that's a fairly standard fight move. You're lying down, you stand up. You're grabbing the sword as you do it. It seems this is an action shot. I don't know.
Okay.
This is action.
Thora,
people want
shall
action.
We play this?
Action.
Panel 6. Thora relents.
It appears we have little choice but to relent your wishes. But I do intend to bring this to the Queen's attention.
Page 18, panel 1. Edmund holds the sword that Thora's throat.
I got to change that to Thor's throat.
Oh,
I'm so bad. I'm so bad about that.
Nah, don't worry about it. Mine are much worse. I just edit them before I get on the stream. That's all. No.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's usually the way to do it.
I mean,
I always miss some though,
and avoiding embarrassment is a good reason to edit. That's the thing I'd be doing.
But now I get my public humiliation fetish met.
No, it's fine. I probably miss a bunch.
You didn't have enough of that already?
That's why this is also good. Like, joke's on you, I'm into that shit. Like,
I mean, hard to argue with that.
It is.
This is the moment where we realize that Preston isn't wearing any pants. But anyway.
Exactly. All right, Edmund.
And why don't I kill you right now and proceed to sell Gretchen into the life of slavery the Queen has in mind for her?
Panel 2. Gretchen stands in shock as she looks as Edmund and Thora, whose face betrays her shame.
There we go. As she looks at Edmund and Thora, whose face betrays her shame. Yeah, there we go.
Whose face betrays her shame?
Thora and Thora.
She looks at Edmund and an ashamed Thora, perhaps.
Even better. Ashamed Thora, perhaps. All right, I'll add that one.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Change made. All right. What?
Oh, yes, my dear. Your life will serve as payment for the magical regent we need. So you won't be coming back. And that means if I elect to murder the governess here, I can make up any damn story I please. Now can't I?
Panel 2. Sword as her throat.
There we go.
Thora surrenders, apparently again. Now she relented before, now surrenders. That's fair.
Yeah.
Unless you provide me a compelling reason to let you live.
Yes, I can see the wisdom of your words now. We should be united on this mission, and sleep will do us good.
Panel 3. Edmund curls up again, maintaining his hold on Thora's sword.
Fantastic. I'm glad I could set your mind right. Don't forget, if you should kill me in my sleep, you'll be two women alone in the foreboding woods surrounded by enemies with a mission from a homicidal queen.
That sounds like a good line to me. I like that line.
It's a pretty good line. I mean, it's also a compelling reason to murder him because they think they're awesome and they're all pretty good fighters. But you know, it's not my story.
Okay. All right. No, if you want, look, I'll bring you on as editor. Like right here, panel 4: Gretchen and Thor murder Edmund in his sleep. Just stab.
Yes.
There you go. All right.
Look, you're all about emotion. I want a big dramatic moment that has fucking consequences.
Okay.
That our protagonists are involved in.
Yeah.
I want the protagonist to cause the because.
Okay.
That's what I like in my stories.
All right.
Panel 4: Gretchen and Thora look to each other.
Am I really to live out the rest of my life as a hermit slave?
Panel 5: Thora takes a hold, that is correct, of her young charge and does her best to reassure her.
So it would seem, but as soon as our magic has returned, I will come here to rescue you.
Panel 6: Thora and Gretchen sleep under one horse blanket and share one saddle as a pillow, as nearby Edmund snores. Fucking murder him. Page 19, panel 1. In the light of early morning, our goggy trio arrive on horseback before a gnarled tree.
Well, by the look of that tree, the summoner can't be far.
How do you know? You've never been here.
Are we to simply wander through this place until we find the summoner or are killed by brigands?
Panel 2. Edmund oozes confidence as he turns to Gretchen. Behind him, 2 of the branches of the great tree reach for him like clawed hands.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry, little one. I wouldn't dream of causing you to miss your date with...
Panel 3. The hands of the tree grab Edmund by the neck and begin to life him from his horse.
Lift. There we go. Sorry, let me fix that real quick. There we go. Lift him from his horse.
Panel 4. Unable to speak, Edmund implores the women for rescue with his eyes, and his hands fights against the strangling branches.
Should be as his hands. There we go. As his hands. Should we rescue him?
I will uphold my sworn duty.
Or if you want, Danny, they can kill him right here.
They can just leave him.
They could absolutely leave him.
Oh, I'm really sorry. He just died. And then he doesn't
Yeah.
die. He comes back. Bam, you have a dragon to complicate the final battle.
There we go. All right.
Panel
just
5.
make the summoner gay. That would be hilarious.
Ooh.
I'll take Edmund
remaining on
instead of Gretchen. He's more my type.
There we go.
Wow.
Panel 5.
Remaining on horseback, but now with sword in hand, Thora hacks away at the tree's branches, which strikes at her.
Chop. There we go.
Chop.
20.
Page 20. Panel 1. Edmund's horse bolts in terror, leaving its former rider suspended from off the ground by the sinister hands of the deadly tree. Thora continues to try to save him for some reason, clawing a branch cleaves a clawing branch in two. From the back of her nervous horse, Gretchen strikes a flint over a torch to get it lit.
I like how the horse got a line.
Yeah.
Horse is gonna get lit. Panel 2. Gretchen approaches the tree with the lit torch as Thora cleaves another limb. Still held and helpless, Edmund looks on with hope.
Let him go or we'll burn you to the ground.
Panel 3. The trunk on the tree ant shows a vaguely human expression of disappointment as it sets Edmund down.
Very well, humans.
Catch my horse. He bolted.
Panel 4. Thora rides into the forest after Edmund's horse.
I'll fetch it. You two remain close by.
He tried to murder them!
He did. No, actually, he didn't try to murder them. He was just exerting his male authority. He did threaten to murder them. Yes.
He's just an asshole.
Panel
That's
5.
all.
Look, this was medieval mansplaining. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I disapprove of mansplaining.
Okay, there we go.
Thora rides through the forest on the watch for danger. I'm really happy that was an even-numbered page. Page 21. Panel 1. Thora senses danger as she listens.
Go, John.
I don't know what's
Panel
supposed to be
2.
whiny.
I think it was
a
Winnie.
Winnie. A Winnie.
W-H-I-N-N.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh,
Like a horse.
W-H-I-N-N-Y? Is that
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Alright.
Panel 2. Dead leaves litter the floor of this ominous forest. Panel 3. Sword in hand, Thora guides her horse deeper into the forest.
Then we have another Winnie.
I'm an actor. I'm not a Foley artist.
There we go.
It's fine, fine. Panel 4. Thora enters a clearing around a moss-covered eutropic pond. I'm not familiar with that word.
Oh, that means that it has been clogged up by decaying vegetation, which consumes all the oxygen. So
Cool.
it's like a dead, mossy. So eutrophic is swamp-like. You could call it swampy.
Okay.
But I took a course in ecology, and I want to use my big words that I paid for. So I'm going to call it eutrophic.
Totally fine. Look, determining what that actually looks like is between you and the illustrator who won't bother to look at that.
Yeah.
If Google Translate doesn't work for him on that word, you could.
Eutropic is pretty specific. I'm confident in Google Translate on that one, actually.
Yeah, like it's a very specific scientific term. So.
We
A
just call it
beautiful
dead water,
horse,
but...
different from Edmund's horse, and bearing no saddle or bridle, drinks from the putrid waters. Panel 5. Thora smiles as she dismounts.
Fiendish delights. What a beautiful creature.
I like that curse.
Cool.
That's a good curse. Page 22. Thora cradles the head of the horse in her hands as they stare into each other's eyes, sharing a bond of animal life. Is she gonna fuck the horse?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, this is a Preston story, not a John story.
Exactly.
What
I
a
mean-
gorgeous...
Sure.
What a gorgeous beast you are. Where did you come from?
See, now, remember earlier I said I'm going to introduce a fairy creature?
Yes.
If you were really, really up on your fairy, particularly your Scottish lore, you would already know what this is.
Okay.
But anyway, go ahead. So,
I think I'm going to fail my arcane check.
I understand.
Wah. Lightly shaded versions of the horse show its time-lapse metamorphosis in a Kelgodal, a dark fey humanoid with horse-like features such as a long face and widely spaced eyes.
You have happened upon my home, fair maiden.
Panel 3. Kelgodal waves his hand before Thora's face. Who succumbs to his charm magic?
Yes. And now I shall take you as my wife.
How lucky I am to have found such a wonderful husband.
Thora.
Panel 4. Thora turns away from Kelgodal towards Gretchen's voice.
My companions have need of me to complete a quest for the Queen of Alluvia.
Tell me of this quest.
We must acquire angel's blood from the summoner to restore the dread magic of our profane goddess Viviax. If we fail, our queendom shall be overrun by men who will impose patriarchy and subjugation.
Page 23. I'm so glad there's a page 23 after that, because that would be a terrible way to go, like, to be continued.
Yeah.
Panel 1. Kelgodal hatches a plan.
Intriguing. Why were you searching for a horse?
Sir Edmund's horse bolted in our encounter with a monstrous tree who sought to kill him.
Well then, I would say you have found Sir Edmund another mount.
Panel 2. Time-lapse images show Kelgodal transforming back into a horse.
Take me to him.
Panel 3. Gretchen sits behind Edmund, both seated on her horse, as they make their way through the forest.
The trail is hard to follow through all these dead leaves.
We should never have allowed ourselves to get separated. Wait, I think I see something up ahead.
Panel 4. Thora rides Kelgodal bareback and leads her other mount, trailing behind them by the reins.
This horse should serve our purpose. Let us be on our way.
Excellent work. I can sense your hatred for the man Edmund.
Panel 5. Thora smiles.
We shall savor killing him together. So
I like
that's
this
where
guy
I'm
already.
And she does ride the horse, bareback at that.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is a creature known as a kelpie, and my daughter Avery was terrified of kelpies when she was 6 or 7. She was like, "Oh my God, we live by the water." It's the funkiest like fairy story in the world. But these creatures exist by water. They are supposedly live under the waves, but they come out and they transform in these beautiful, majestic horses, and they can like charm you, and you go away under the water with them.
Yeah. It's a pretty crazy.
So they're like mermaids for women.
They're like mermaids for women. Yeah.
Scottish mermaids for women. Yeah,
Scottish.
Yeah. I mean, you put on the Sean Connery accent, it kind of works.
So anyway,
was there another page, or is that how that
ends?
No,
that was how it ended. Unless you guys tell me it needs to end differently, but I thought that was a decent cliffhanger ending.
Well, you said that was 23, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wasn't sure if you were going for the 24 or not.
Not yet. I always leave room because maybe Danny will tell me I need a 24th page. I don't know.
You definitely didn't go Iron. You definitely need to end where you ended now for this one. So we'll extend a battle scene or something to make the illustrator happy.
All right.
Maybe you want to put an ad for Guinevere 5 in it. Who knows?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you can always run ads.
Yeah. That's how I look at it.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. No worries. I was just asking if there was more. That's all.
No more. All right, Larry. What did you like about it?
Like that you fixed up. We already read before. Made it a little bit more tight, I guess. I like the introduction of the fairy lore. That's pretty cool. That's definitely a good direction to go into, because there's a lot of stuff to explore in that. So, yeah, it seems like you've got an interesting quest on the go too. So, I'm interested to see where this goes and what the summoner's all about and whatnot. So, yeah.
All right, John.
Yeah, I liked your fairy horse. That was cool. And something else I was gonna say. There was something that else that I think you changed that I liked, but I don't remember exactly what it was.
Fair enough.
But so I'll just say that the first part, which for the most part felt unchanged, like I didn't really notice a whole lot different, but it did appear to flow smoother, is what I'll say. Because as I said, I do remember a couple things did feel different, and better than they did the last time. So
cool. I too enjoyed the gay horse. I'm glad. See, everybody likes the Kelpie. The Kelpie's a big hit. All right, Danny.
I'm totally behind the Kelpie. I think it's a great plot twist. I think it leans into your theme of like, what does it look like to have a kingdom run by women in a magical landscape? And it means men are the threat, which works fine with Edmund being a threat too. I also liked how rapey this episode wasn't anymore. So that's a significant improvement. And yeah, the fact that the very dangerous Kelpie turns out to be a potential ally.
I thought it was more rapey. I mean, like Kelgadal's about to take her under the waves and make her his wife, but
and yet then he becomes an ally and he's like, oh yeah, let's let this asshole ride me or whatever.
Yeah.
It was a good twist. It was a really good twist.
Cool.
Right? It seems like it's going to be like more like, oh no, better evil danger, and actually it's a really good twist. So way to go. I guess I'll save some of the rest for crits. Dialogue is largely the same. Everything else is crits.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead.
Okay, so the dialogue is largely the same. which is fine. The dialogue is
Okay.
largely fine. I still don't really like
Thor
the way
surrendering to
people
Edmund.
act around the Edmund's an asshole scene.
Okay.
It lands better now that I know where it's going, but I think that's retrospective. It does feel better than it did last time. So John's, I think if anything was changed, as John suspected, that probably did help. But it's still like, oh, he just starts being an asshole, and then they just do what he wants, immediately, and then they start like fetching shit for him, that was a bit much for me.
Okay.
Right, like the horror stuff is like, come on. So like maybe they come to some other arrangement aside from like, don't kill me.
But look, I gotta say, like, you know, if you're on a mountaineering expedition and it's just the three of you and you're not getting along, but you know, like if one of you's down an oxygen tank and like, you know, it's one of those things. I really felt like the danger of the situation was forcing these people to work together, and Edmund was, you know, leveraging his advantage of saying you can't do this mission without me, which I think the women perceive to be true.
It would be really nice if we showed that on the page instead of having to maybe walk through the forest or like march through the forest.
I mean, Edmund explains to them, I'm like, if you kill me in my sleep...
But there's the problem. He explains it, we don't see it. And
there's no way to see it other than killing Edmund.
Guys.
No.
Pause.
Edmund...
Pause.
Hold on. Here's the thing.
All right, John, go ahead. Right.
You're right, we do see it. However, we only see it after he mansplains it with the tree ant, which is actually an ant. So the dangers that we see that they are fighting together come after that situation. We should see a similar danger beforehand with them fighting as a team.
Okay.
That would be a good use of that extra page.
So you're saying if I put the treant first and then Edmund's an asshole later, then it becomes better?
No, you put something else first. Still use the tree ant because the tree ant, the horse runs off and then she gets the horse. So we need that.
Okay.
Right. That's all tied together with because. But use the extra page to have some danger that they fight together where Thor is leading the way, but it's a really rough fight.
Okay.
You know, that shows that it's a dangerous journey they're taking together and they're surrounded by whatever.
Fair enough.
And then all of a sudden, listen, we need to do this together. Even if you survive, what are you going to say? You know, all of a sudden, you know, there's a conversation instead of they walk through a forest for a page, which is what we do have now. Okay. It's a very long day of it, obviously. Time passes, etc. But like, we don't see the dangers. We just see tired and long journey. So yeah, introduce the tree ant with tree ant instead of tree if it's a tree ant.
Okay.
Use the actual name of the thing and don't hide it for the illustrator.
Okay.
There might be more, and then he can just do a design on first reading instead of being confused.
Sure.
That was it for crits.
All right, John.
I really like how this is turning out, and like that's a good enough twist to actually get me to buy a second issue. So I really do like that.
Yeah, like I don't understand, and this kind of is what going with Danny said, because we don't see the danger in the forest when he's just saying there's a danger in the forest. Well, we haven't seen it, so we're going off of what he said, and so you're telling, not showing.
Okay.
And it doesn't, so I don't entirely understand why, you know, because, and as somebody who's rooting for Thora, we're hoping and praying that she's got some kind of plan to save Gretchen somehow. Not just, well, when I get my power back, you know, 12, 18 months after you've been, you know, a sex slave, then I'll come rescue you. You know, like that's, if my best friend was telling me, okay, I know you're going to be a sex slave for the next 12 to 18 months, but I'm going to come and rescue you in 12 to 18 months, I don't know if I would really, really find that comforting.
Okay.
So, because B, if that was it's like, well, can't you just kill Edmund and then you both run off into be alone together and start over somewhere else where nobody, it's like there's 1,001 possibilities to this situation that doesn't involve Gretchen becoming a sex slave. So I kind of feel like I'm rooting for her, and I want her to have some kind of plan that's better than the one that she proposes. Because I think as a hero character that we want to root for, I think she needs to be a little bit smarter than that.
I mean, I don't know what plan she could really hatch at this venture. But
I think John's suggesting that she should make a character-driven decision instead of a selfish life-saving one.
Okay.
Like, what does this decision tell us about Thora?
I mean, potentially Thora could just ride off with into the sunset and say, fuck it. But
that's what I'm saying. That is a possibility. And I'm not saying it's a strong possibility, and it's not going. But again, it's one of those things where like we always talk, and I say, well, such and such has to happen for the plot, and it's like, well, yes, this has to happen for the plot. So a character is acting out of character in order for the plot to happen. And I just kind of feel like, and if the purpose of that conversation was simply so that Gretchen knows her fate. Because I kind of feel like that also was setting up the fact that Gretchen doesn't know why she's here.
Right.
As far as she knows, she's just here to help Thora. And I get that you want her to have the realization that of her fate so that they can but I think we should use that as a character moment. Rather than just basically saying, don't worry about it, I'll come and save you later. When I no longer need the summoner.
Even Gretchen saying, like, don't worry about it is totally worth it for, our kingdom to survive. Tells us something about the character.
Okay.
Sorry, John, if you don't mind me sort of supporting you here, it's okay for Gretchen or Thora to hold the idiot ball in this moment. But, it needs to clearly be the idiot ball and not the we're just going to passively sit and watch the plot happen ball.
Okay.
Right? They still can't be passive. They can be stupid, but they, or can be convinced of something that's wrong for them. But I think showing some danger earlier and seeing how they deal with it with the three of them, maybe it's like, oh, they're not strong enough, but Edmund comes in and saves the day, and then he realizes that he is strong enough because they don't have the magic. Right. And all of a sudden you've got this chain of becauses that lead to maybe Thora having an idiot ball moment, but at least they stay together because it's safer or whatever. Then she can reveal, yes, she cares about the safety of everyone. In this moment, that's totally fine. But otherwise, it's too easy, and just because the plot needs it to happen. I mean, I'm working on another editing project right now where I find that a decreasingly functional excuse from the creator. And the illustrator is going to do whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you've got some time to think about this dialogue-wise, and I don't think that our direction needs to change. But yeah,
well, I mean, it's going to need to change a little bit if we need to insert a fight, but
well, yes,
yeah,
but it's more.
I think the fight part, yeah, definitely there should be something that spells how dangerous this journey is in some way or another. And
I've got an idea. So yeah, in addition to a fight, all of those walking scenes, some of them can be running away from a gang of goblins.
There we go. Okay.
Crossing a treacherous path. Sneaking past an angry sleeping griffin. That sort of thing.
That's you don't necessarily have to do a fight for an entire page. Yeah, that's a good idea. Because you can also do a time lapse with that too. So you can have the sun be morning when they're doing one thing, and then it be early afternoon, and then late afternoon, and then evening. So they've done all of these perilous things, and the sneaking and that sort of a thing. Because kind of reminded me of that when they go in the mines of Moria in Lord of the Rings, even before everybody shows up, we still felt that they were in some sense of peril because of the way the characters were responding. You know, they were whispering and, you know, and all of that. And
yeah, and like even the way Gandalf freaks out with the noise.
Yeah, it all just kind of sets up that tone and tells us that they're in a dangerous place. So,
All right.
I think that'll help. And I guess this may be a minor thing, or maybe it's just something that kind of bugs me. It's like, because hell, I'm writing one right now, but I don't mind the the female empowerment stories, but it always bothers me in female empowerment stories when all the men are assholes, and it seems like in your story all the men are assholes, and I don't know if that's just because
we've only seen two.
Yeah.
And one of them has actually not demonstrated himself to be too bad. But I would remind you, this is an evil kingdom with a queen and a high priestess plotting the slaughter of male infants to appease a demon in order to empower their kingdom to continue.
Which actually would go back to another thought then. You know,
Okay.
and Thora's okay with this?
Yes.
Yes.
So she's not a very good person either.
No.
So maybe she would. So then maybe she wouldn't have and I guess she's completely okay with leaving her best friend with a
So why is she okay with murdering the man?
Because she realizes she needs him to survive.
Okay.
Again, show us, don't tell us.
All right.
Okay. All right. No, I'm sold. All
right.
So everybody's basically an asshole.
Yes, it's an evil kingdom.
Okay.
I'm actually really okay with everyone being an asshole, and I'm kind of okay with like all the men being assholes as long as you lean into the cliche of everything.
Okay.
And you did that a little bit with like the walking through the street scene way back, like being like, here are some basic things that people say about feminists, and you have feminists actually saying it.
Yeah,
so more of that
transgressions
would really help.
Yeah, I mean, for that matter, you forget earlier we meet an adventuring party, and the dwarven guy is kind of lovable.
Yeah.
I take back what I was saying about that then.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. No. I guess sometimes you forget. I guess I forgot
for that matter, White Lily is kind of a female empowerment story, and almost every man you meet in there is a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I'm totally behind all that stuff. Just like lean into the cliche, and I think it's going to work a lot better. And given what your source material is, you should definitely lean into the cliche. You're revising early 80s stuff. Right. So lean on those 80s cliches. Basically, if I can't believe I'm saying this, if Rush Limbaugh would say something
there you go.
About our protagonists in their society, that's the sort of thing you want to put into men's mouths and have them saying about themselves. Like, really lean into that cliche stuff, and I think it's going to all land a lot better.
All right, cool.
You mean like I love the women's movement, especially when I'm walking behind it?
There you go.
That sort of thing. Or also just have them have Bra Burning Day be a fucking national holiday. That sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh, I like that idea. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Bras are historically accurate, and this is a fantasy project anyway, so you don't care.
Yeah. All right, Larry. You got anything?
I was just gonna say I don't really think you need to change Thora's character at all.
Okay.
She is a person that has worked her way up into a society that has a clear, regal system. She understands the way the law works and everything like that, and she is acting within the character of somebody who has come up in that society.
Right.
So, and she's also following orders. She's very bent on following orders.
Yeah.
Therefore, her mindset isn't, hey, I'm going to kill this guy and become a murderer and an outlaw. She's like, I'm going to do the best I can.
Yes.
To follow my queen's orders. So.
Right.
I understand where you're coming from with the character. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay.
As far as adding stuff in, I don't think you need to put...
I could put the Scum Manifesto in my book.
Yeah. As far as adding...
Society for...
I don't know.
Yeah, so something of men. Yeah, all right.
As far as adding stuff in, I don't think you need a battle scene.
That came out of Married with Children. I remember that.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good show. Yeah, I don't think you need a battle scene. You just need a little bit of build up in the atmosphere as you're walking along the path into the forest. So put some skeletal remains or something like that. Evidence of past battles against monsters and stuff. You don't even need to show anything. You just need to show the aftermath, the danger.
That could work too. Yeah.
Swamp of the Dead.
That way it doesn't
There we go.
like shit on your later battles with the tree ant and stuff like that. So
Good point. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. These are good notes. I'll go back and revise the story, and then I will appoint Danny editor. And,
Yay!
And then Danny can give me the note of they should just kill Edmund. And
if you change the dialogue so that there's a reason for them not to, that's clearly expressed, I won't give you that note.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we have Dragon Warriors.
Yes. So this is a rewrite from. I made some changes, so this is going to be almost totally different from what you guys read before.
Okay.
I'm still going to skip the children's story because that basically doesn't change.
Yeah.
So we're going to pretty much pick up as soon as that ends. Danny, you feel like narrating?
Yeah, let's go. I don't have the energy for voices today.
All
right.
Interior. Sorry.
Larry, you can do Julia again.
Sure.
And then
I'll do everybody who's not Julia.
Pretty much.
Well, you and I can tag team them.
Okay.
You can do, well, Shen only has one line. I'll do Shang, and then why don't you do the dragon, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
Interior, suburban house, living room, night, the front door. Bang, bang. Shen crosses the living room to the front door.
Who could it be at this hour?
The door falls open. A dozen clansmen in white hooded robes stand outside holding torches.
Ooh!
Yes.
Evil
Klansmen
are bad. There we go.
Julia's bedroom. Like a firework, a puff of golden light explodes in the room. Julia looks up, seeing a golden dragon about the size of a cat, twirling and flying around the room. She giggles. The dragon flies down, landing on the bed.
Who are you?
I'm a luck dragon. Oh wait, sorry. Me? Why, I'm the spirit of the dragon. I'm here to take you away from the clansmen. All right, sorry.
Julia giggles.
This is a bizarre juxtaposition. Okay. All right.
From what? From last week?
Well, from the clan breaking in the thing, she's giggling at a little dragon. I'm like, all right.
Julia giggles.
I'm not voicing Julia. That is Larry.
So Larry is.
Yes, sorry. You're kind of tiny for a dragon and cute.
Julia grabs the dragon, hugging it tight. The dragon wheezes like it can't breathe.
I feel like the clan should break down the door here and go, "Aw, they're so cute. Come on, fellas. It's cute. It's a dragon." Not too tight now.
The dragon slips out from her arms, fluttering around in the air.
You talk silly.
From outside the room, crash!
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
Looks like they're gonna kill you.
Julia gets out of bed, walks to the door. Living room. One group of clansmen rummage through the house looking for anything of value, while another group drags Shang out of the house. Julia's bedroom. The dragon flies between Julia and door.
Girl, we gotta run.
But Papa?
He'll be fine. He'll meet us outside.
The dragon flies over the window, lifting the latch and opening the window.
It's like a game. Do you like games?
Exterior house. Jacob, 19.
Wait. We got a Julia nod.
Julia nods, climbing out the window.
Yeah.
Exterior house. Jacob and Paul stand by a black, unmarked police car, smoking.
I'll do Paul. Preston, why don't you do Jacob? Damn, when are they going to be... When they said they'd be lynching some chinks, I thought they let us tie the ropes.
Jacob stares into the distance, half ignoring him.
Come on, don't you want to get in on this?
I joined the police force to help people.
You are.
Sure.
You're helping the right people.
Kaboom! Jacob and Paul turn to the house as it explodes in flames.
Yeehaw! Look at her go.
Through the haze, Julia's silhouette running towards them becomes visible.
Kid!
Bawling, Julia runs up to Jacob and Paul.
Larry.
Oh, please help my Papa.
Jacob kneels down. Julia's face, stained with tears and dirt.
My Papa.
She turns back, pointing at the house. Paul takes out his radio.
Wizard, guess what we found down here at the perimeter? His little Slant's daughter. Bring her around to the back. We'll have a child-sized rope just for her.
Paul clips his radio to his belt, offers his hand to Julia, smiles.
Papa?
What happened to my luck dragon?
He's about to... Okay, it's called Dragon Warrior. There's a dragon. Soon there will be warrior.
All right, fair enough.
That's what I'm gambling on here.
Okay.
Papa?
Julia...
I'll take you to your Papa.
Julia takes his hand. Paul leads her towards the back. Jacob watches. His breathing intensifies. He draws his pistol. Jacob marches forward. He hits Paul in the back of his head with his pistol. Grabbing Julia, he runs.
Oh, shit, Jake.
Paul draws his pistol. Bang! Bang! Jacob falls to his knees, dropping Julia. He stares into her scared eyes.
Run!
Poof! The dragon reappears.
Come on, girl! Run! There we go.
Julia takes off, running with the dragon. Jacob falls to his back, bleeding from his stomach. Paul walks up to him.
What the hell was that?
She's just a kid.
Paul aims his pistol at Jacob's head.
Where'd the kid?
Paul grabs his radio.
Jake, let her go.
She's just some chink kid. Nobody's going to believe a word she says anyway.
Opening credits!
Yay!
You get lots of rain now.
now I want to see the Luck Dragon and the clan.
Okay, so right now, the Luck Dragon is really just a figment of her imagination. It's her subconscious.
Okay. Alright.
So, go on.
Okay. Exterior, beach, night. Julia runs along the beach. The sun begins to rise. Its rays blinds us for a second. Exterior, Buddhist temple, shrine, day. An offering of fruits, vegetables, and some U.S. currency lays on a tray before a shrine. Covered in dirt and grime, Julia grabs an apple from the offering. Turns around. She comes face to face. A monk staring down at her. Exterior, beach, sunrise. Julia, 13, runs along the beach. Interior, Buddhist temple, classroom, day. Julia sits with a dozen other students on the floor, facing a monk.
Chi, it is the energy that binds the universe together.
Exterior, Buddhist temple yard, day. Julia stands with a dozen other students wielding staffs, moving them together in unison.
Son. The secret to inner peace is to align your soul with the chi of the universe.
Exterior, beach, day. Julia, 16, runs along the beach.
This is no easy task. Many spend several lifetimes seeking alignment and never attain it.
Interior, Buddhist temple classroom. Day. Julia sits with a dozen other students on the floor as a monk presents an English phonetic alphabet on the board. 16? Wow. Exterior, Buddhist temple yard. Julia and another girl wearing short kimonos face off in kung fu poses. The monk signals. Their sparring match begins.
But when you do come into alignment, it is said that when you push against the universe.
Exterior, high-rise construction yard. Day. Two construction works stand on an I-beam as a crane lifts it into the air. Looking out, they smile and point out. Seeing on the roof of nearby high-rise building. Exterior roof. Julia, 19, hot. Performs several sharp and decisive Tai Chi moves.
The universe will push back.
Julia leaps into the swing, a kick directly at the camera. Show title card.
Why is she fighting in a kimono? Just quick question.
Yeah, isn't she in a monastery? Shouldn't she be in like robes, like monkey things, or clothes, like
or like
everybody
a
else?
gi or some shit, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a gi.
Yeah.
Is this a Chinesey thing? I'm sure there's Chinesey martial arts outfits.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, look, a kimono is not made for fighting. You would not fight in a kimono. Just saying.
Okay.
That's say dead or alive begs to differ, but
Anyway,
I never saw Dead or Alive. So, all right.
I know the reference. It's fine. Don't
Okay.
Google it.
All right.
Interior Santa Monica
Google
All
it,
Girls
Express.
High School
Google it.
classroom. Day. Julia stands in front of the class, sitting next to Sister Esther.
Class, this is Julia Sue. Her father works at the Chinese consulate, and she'll be joining us for the remainder of the school year. Please be sure to make her feel welcome.
Julia bows.
Thank you for having me.
You can go sit over there.
Esther points to an empty desk. Julia sits down. To her right is Megan, 16.
Is this your first time in the States?
Julia smiles and nods sheepishly.
Welcome. I'm Megan.
Interior, underground laboratory.
Oh, yeah.
Day. This underground lab is broken up into two sections. The walls
Wait,
are-
hold up. John,
Yes, sir.
how do we know it's day in our underground lab?
I don't know.
I don't either. So,
I mean,
you sh-
Julia is also 19 and in school with 16-year-olds, so there's all kinds of questions.
all right, fine. All right, go ahead.
Broken up
It's
into
just
sections.
stupid. Yeah.
The walls are made of steel reinforced concrete. Cool. The entry section, 20%, is separated from the main section, 80%, by steel frame, 15 centimeter thick glass. That is very thick glass.
That is
It's
some
very
thick
thick
glass, yes.
That is half a foot thick glass.
Yeah.
And a heavy security door. Mostly empty, the entry section contains several chairs along the wall and an elevator as the only means in and out. Dressed in a fitted suit, Malcolm O'Ryan watches his employees. The main section has counters aligning the north side, and is there a north side? And back walls? Okay, the south side wall has a large slate, chalkboard bolted to it. There are all manner of complex mathematical, physics, and chemical formulas and calculations written on it. Dressed in head-to-toe lead-lined jumpsuits and helmets, Temperance Dimitriov, Dr. Albert Myers, and a lab technician stand in the center.
Preston, why don't you do temperance?
Open it.
The lab tech opens a cooler sitting on the table. Mist bellows from within. A Geiger counter goes nuts. Click, 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 click. Myers takes a silver cylindrical canister from the liquid nitrogen, placing it on the table. He unscrews the lid, revealing a green glowing stone. Using a sharp blade, Temperance cuts a chunk off the rock.
I so want that to be the luck dragon. Like, oi.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. I'm radioactive.
Myers re-screws the cylindrical canister, replacing it in the cooler, moving to a lead line box. It's inside, lined with mirrors. Temperance places the glowing green stone piece on a mirror table set up in the center of the box. Afterwards, she closes the lid, securing its latch. The Geiger counter goes quiet. Temperance and Myers exchange glances. The three remove their helmets and gloves. Temperance unzips the jumpsuit, pulling the top part off and tying the sleeves around her waist, leaving her topless except for a black bralette.
I like where this is going.
She blows a bubble with her bubble gum. Pop. She smirks.
Ready?
The lab tech hands Temperance and Myers darkened goggles. Temperance looks back at Orion as he watches. He gives an approving nod. Temperance puts the darkened goggles on, blows another bubble. Pop. Leaning in, she looks through a viewport into the box.
Let there be light.
The Myers and the lab tech put on their darkened goggles.
Yes, ma'am.
Myers flips the switch on a lantern and sends a beam of light into a glass lens fitted on the side of the box. EFX. Inside the lead-lined box, the light comes through the lens, bounces off the mirrors inside, forming a laser that shots directly at the stone. Begins to glow brighter and brighter.
Yes, yes.
Boom! Suddenly, a force of energy throws everyone back.
All I can think of is the dragon meets the clan. I've now sold myself that this is an awesome idea. All right, go ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
Suddenly, the force of energy throws everyone back. Temperance hits the glass wall with a thud. She collapses on the floor, coughs her gum back into her mouth. Getting up, she goes to the state, mumbling to herself and writing on the board. Myers inspects the lead-lined box, which remains still sealed.
Check the Geiger counter.
The lab tech checks the monitor. It appears functional.
It's fine.
Myers exhales. He looks back at Orion, waves him inside. Orion
Larry, you can do Orion.
The security door enters.
It's okay. The force, though, that was intense.
Myers and Orion turn to Temperance as she continues babbling. She spouts out calculations, doing math in her head, then stops. Temperance's expression drops. She turns, falling back against the slate. She blows a bubble. Pop.
Well, Miss Dimitrov?
It doesn't work. The math doesn't work.
It's okay. You'll figure it out.
Not before this weekend.
Orion smiles reassuringly. He puts his hand on her shoulder.
You'll figure it out.
She smiles at him.
Wait, she stripped down to boobies in front of her dad? Thanks, Dad.
She's adopted, but you did understand the
Oh, that makes it better.
Interior, Orion's office. Hold on. Is Orion's office in fucking underground
okay,
lab?
I'm sorry. I skipped the scene where he walks out of the lab, goes up the flight of steps, meets his secretary who says somebody's on the phone, and he goes into his office to answer the phone. Because that was a page.
You shouldn't have, because you very explicitly stated that this particular underground lab has exactly 2 rooms. You were very clear about that. And there were
I should have said elsewhere.
But my question is, why is she like hot, sexy scientist? Yeah, like why is she hot, sexy scientist in front of Dad? Why is she hot, sexy scientist at all? I've known some science women. I've known some fairly attractive science women who did have boobs, but like mid experiment they weren't like kaboom. So I don't know. I think that part's a little weird.
A little?
I mean, look.
A little weird.
Look, and I'm like the guy who wants to add boobs to every scene, but I don't think they belong there. I'm not a fan. Go ahead.
Orion stares at the flashing light on his phone, sighs. He picks it up.
Orion speaking.
How goes my research project?
Progressing, although we may not have a working prototype by the deadline.
This is not acceptable, Mr. Orion. We invest $500,000 US. We expect results.
Yes, sir, I understand, but research and develop...
I don't care. Mein Führer wants results.
Yes, sir.
Click. The line goes dead.
Damn Nazis.
There we go.
Wait,
All
is
right.
this Nazis versus the Klan featuring Golden Dragon?
Nazis versus the Klan. Love it.
This is a hodgepodge of ideas that I don't really know where I'm going exactly.
Okay.
Here's your tagline: no matter who loses, humanity wins.
There you go. Okay, well, the pages were entertaining. We had a luck dragon, we had the Klan, we had boobs, we had Nazis, we had a Geiger counter, shit was radioactive, we had an underground lab. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
All right, Larry, what do you think?
I mean, there's lots of interesting ideas going on here.
We did.
Yeah.
Boobs, there we go.
Boobs. Yeah, there's boobs. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Stepdaughter, or adopted daughter
Yeah,
boobs.
adopted
but anyway,
daughter
yeah.
boobs.
Yeah. Definitely the makings of a good porno. But anyway,
Right.
yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Luck dragons, Nazis, Klansmen, yeah. There's corrupt police officers. There's all sorts of things going on, yeah.
This is the never-ending story sequel I never thought about.
I am a hundo P behind this Mulan Green Lantern flashback.
Oh, shit.
Is that all you got, Danny?
I mean, this is great.
Okay.
I have no idea what's going on.
Yes.
It reminds me of a film I saw recently called Jesus Shows You the Way to the Highway.
Yeah.
Which
all right. By the way, I'm being countermanded. Everybody likes martial arts in a kimono. Very well. Okay.
Yeah.
I do not understand what is happening. This does not seem to be the same story we were reading a couple of weeks ago.
No,
which
it's
is
taking a radical
why.
approach. Yeah.
No, it is definitely not what we were reading a few weeks ago.
Right.
Which, if I recall correctly, had police officers in it, and
We still have police officers.
Well, there are
working
police
with the Klan.
officers, yeah.
Yeah, they become even. The more I've been writing, they become less important.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm gonna do, but yeah, I got too many.
Well, look, the initial drafts of Guinevere and the Divinity Factory didn't have Guinevere as the main character. You know.
Yeah, so you
Don, you need to go watch Jesus Shows You the Way to the Highway and just lead into whatever you're doing now.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea what's happening, and it's totally surreal, and it's kind of great.
Yeah.
And you just throw it all in there. Like, this is a pop culture blender that is completely probably insane. Or it's the weirdest Karate Kid sequel. I have no fucking clue, man. And, like, all of the scenes kind of work.
I don't know. I think Preston's got it. This is like the sequel to the Never-Ending Story. Atreyu hits puberty and it goes all crazy. Yeah. Forget the fantasy creatures. She's got topless chicks now. Like,
Clarify where we're at. Relatives. We've got Atreyu, Mulan, the good one, not the new one, with the dragon.
Yeah.
We've got, I just mentioned Karate Kid, Green Lantern's in there.
Green Lantern, yeah.
I mean, no? They're sciencing a Green Lantern ring.
Yeah.
Okay?
It could be kryptonite. I don't
and then
know.
you've got mad scientists, Nazis, like whatever. Sexy
This story has
everything.
everything. Yeah.
Evil Klansmen, like 1920s, like weird talking Irish LA policeman, a children's story.
Yeah.
For kids, yeah.
Strikes in here that we've overlooked. because I think CinemaSins needs to fucking know.
Yeah.
So yeah, like whatever you're doing, like it's not working. None of us know what's happening, but
Right.
that's fine. It's clearly engaging. So if you're aiming for hook the reader, you succeeded.
Yes.
Yeah, but
All right. Constructive.
I think you kind of already said that too.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you got to decide on what kind of genre you're really going for here and what your tone is. If this is going to be your genre and your tone throughout the whole thing, cool. But you're setting yourself a pretty high bar. Like I said, I'm ready for the Nazis and the Luck Dragon and like the mad scientist and the crazy stepdad with the slutty daughter for whatever reason, who's also a brilliant scientist in her own right.
Not, right?
Yeah, I was a little. Did Paul shoot Jake?
Yes.
That seems like it might be hard to explain to the rest of the force.
Well, isn't the chief corrupt? I thought I got that.
Okay, but even if we have a corrupt chief, it's still kind of hard to explain.
True. Yeah. The commissioner and whatnot, yeah. Unless everyone's
I feel like
corrupt,
shooting was a little over the top.
Yeah.
I mean, we did cut to an evil scientist lair.
All right.
It's true, yeah.
No, I mean,
point, yeah.
If you're going to kill Jake, then at least make his death meaningful and have him be sacrificed to the clan. You know?
He's actually not supposed to be dead.
Oh, well then you don't shoot him.
Okay. Though, of course, as I said, the more I write, the less he's in it. So I don't even know if if that might not even be necessary. So
there you go. I think I would have to ask you, what is the conflict of the story?
So the conflict of the story, and it's probably going to end up being more of a spy thriller. The primary conflict of the story is an American weapons manufacturer making a super weapon for the Nazis.
Okay.
So it's the Rocketeer meets Jesus Shows You the Way to the Highway.
There you go.
Story, Karate Kid, Mulan, and all this other stuff.
The school scene was because I had this idea about one of the earlier ideas, which I ended up not doing because it seemed so. Basically, Orion's birth daughter goes to the school, and Julia is going undercover as a student to try to figure out. He's using. One of the early ideas was that the underground lab was actually underneath the school, but then I'm like, no, he's not going to be building a nuclear weapon underneath his daughter's school, so why not? Because that doesn't make any sense. I mean, well, it wouldn't make any sense. Like, why would he put his own kid in jeopardy? If
you're trying to make this make sense, I think you're going in the wrong.
Yeah, you're going the wrong direction.
I think you should take more of whatever it is you're on.
This is just me throwing ideas at the wall. And
this is it. I think this is going to be one of the exhibits at trial in terms of clearly you're under mental stress. Your Honor, look at this. Look at this.
Like, what is this?
He's gonna be like, "Oh wow, yeah, this is crazy."
I had a fever dream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. So if the conflict is the daughter the daughter becomes aware of the Nazi super weapon being written by the perv stepdad, and is out to stop it to save the world, kind of thing.
Actually, right now his daughter is the school bully.
Okay,
so she's going to be girl, the hot scientist girl.
The hot science girl is the school bully.
No. Orion's daughter, his birth daughter.
Oh, okay. All right.
Who is a student at the school.
Okay.
So I had a few conflicting ideas, which I was trying to figure out which one I wanted to work with. But one of the ideas was that Orion is doing something untoward at the school that his daughter is attending. So Julia is going to intercept it, or going to investigate undercover. As I said, the original idea was to put the nuclear weapons facility under there, but that didn't seem like what a rational, sane person would do. Not that anybody's rational or sane in this story, but
I don't know that. Like, look, as much as I love the Luck Dragon meets the Clan, I think that needs to be its own story. I don't know that that is really a good place to open our Rocketeer-ish story. You know.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, that one. It does seem too Mulan. I agree with that.
Yeah. So biological daughter, we are. Yeah. So like if we get rid of the clan and the dragon, like all right. So the conflict. All right. So what's the conflict again? We've got the super weapon for the Nazis being done by the evil scientist, and then hot science girl is trying to stop it.
No, she's actually the one designing the super weapon.
Oh, okay. So she is evil science. She is evil hot femme fatale girl. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Then, all right. First off, if we're already in this genre, then like just embrace the genre you're in. Right. There's no reason for her to be necessarily like if she's hot science supervillain, then just costume her as hot science supervillain.
I thought I did that.
Yeah, but she's like taking stuff off in the middle of an experiment. That doesn't quite make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's because they're using stuff that's highly radioactive. So when the radioactive stuff is going off, they're all wearing lead-lined suits.
Okay.
That was the setup. It was dangerous, radioactive,
and then once it's Pro V commercial.
Right.
I mean,
with goggles.
All right. Well,
I was trying to embrace the femme fatale thing. That was cool. I was definitely trying to go that way.
I didn't get that from her. And in the genre you're writing, I need to be able to have that scene end and go, oh, that's the evil hot science girl, you know? So play her up a bit more, have her dialogue be even a little more cliche. And, you know, give me like, oh, that's the femme fatale science chick who's designing the shit for the Nazis. Now, it's okay to have the clan, but I would make that more of a backstory flashback or something. Cause,
I could do that later because I don't really do anything with her father's death in issue 1.
Yeah.
So I quite literally don't. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you can get rid of that. You can get rid of Jake and Paul, and you know we're opening up on. All right. So then, all right, Danny. So we've got femme fatale girl, you know, doing super science for the Nazis, and is going to be stopped by martial arts.
Yes, ninja chick.
Is going to be stopped by ninja chick Julia. How should we open that? How do you open that?
I mean, clearly with a magic dragon and a Green Lantern.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Well, we have our kid's story, which doesn't necessarily have to be played as a kid's story.
Okay, so Preston's actually... sorry, I'm stepping over you,
no,
John.
It's
okay. Your defensiveness is just you backing away from this amazing, crazy bullshit.
No. I'm just... go ahead. I'll shut up.
So my crit was like, I dare you to make a log line for this.
Right.
Which does lead to Preston's point, which is like, how do you start this? What's the actual story?
Right.
So the traditional way you start this is the mad scientists unleash something evil. That, you know, start with the mad scientists. We do an experiment. Oh, now we've done this thing. Very much like Avengers. Loki shows up. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Right? They did something. It was science. Oops. Now we broke it, and good scientist needs to save the day. Or you start with the protagonist, and you put them on their journey, right? Something bad is happening. I need to stop it. Or I am training to become one with the universe and take revenge on the clan. Or you have it be thematic, like the Rocketeer. Oh man, flying is awesome. Flying. Flying solves lots of problems. Fuck the government. Screw all these big corporations. I can fly. There's a rocket pack. So it's either I need a dragon to get out of some trouble from Julia's martial arts journey, or mad scientist is about to destroy the world for the Nazis, which is a really good conflict, although I don't know how Kung Fu Girl is going to solve it.
I do. With Kung Fu.
Clearly,
hello.
It's a dragon.
And a dragon and boobs.
Right? So, it's not like we need to save our village. I would start with the problem here, then figure out who your protagonist is later. Or just lean into crazy experimental impressionist cinema and get on with your life.
Okay.
Dave on screen here has a great point. Stars Julia training or being sent on a mission.
Right. I mean, you could make issue 1 the origin story of Julia.
Someone stole the yang half of the ancient yin yang medallion, and we must return it before some cosmic something in.
There we go.
24 hours. Go murder all.
I like it. Right. Yeah. The Nazis need some shit and steal something from the Ming Dynasty or whatnot, and Julia is hot on the case to investigate.
Bam! That was added Indiana Jones to our Rocketeer, and I'm very cool with that.
Yeah.
Still like about the Karate Kid, Mulan, Green Lantern stuff, but I mean, I can buy the Green Lantern all of a sudden, and the Karate Kid doesn't not work with some of the mysticism. So it's just the dragon that's a problem now. Maybe.
And again, I think
her dragon.
Yeah.
And so the dragon's just always there. That's actually better than the dragon suddenly showing up. Or maybe the dragon comes from a medallion that she actually wears that hasn't been mentioned yet. And that's the other half of the medallion. They have to be joined forever. Bam. So now you've got a resolution in mind you can write towards. That is not the story that we started with, obviously. But it's something. I don't know. Preston, how was that?
I think it's practical advice. I look forward to seeing the next draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John, I'm sending you something on Discord to send you in a completely crazy direction.
There you go.
Instead, because, you need to watch that film.
Sweep the leg. There we go. Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, those were the only 2 scripts we had, right?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, there was easily like 10 scripts worth of script in there. I think
there was.
Had it covered for the whole evening.
There was a bunch of story. That's for darn sure.
That's why we love him.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's Press Pulse of Pocket Jacks Comics. I'll see everyone when we get some more scripts. Take care. Bye.
Later.
Bye, guys.